Welcome to North of the Broad. I'm Robyn Zimmerman, and the Bennett Schiller has joined us. As you know, he is the founder and the managing partner of the Schiller Hamilton law firm.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to have you with us. And today we're talking about a very important topic, AI, artificial intelligence, and how it applies or doesn't apply in the legal world.
Right. Well, obviously, it's new technology that is very revolutionary, and some people have very legitimate concerns, and some people are very excited about it. Unfortunately, there's pros and cons, and with every revolutionary technology, it can be used for good and it can be used for bad.
All right. So let's start with the good things about AI in the legal world.
Well, obviously, AI is a replication of human intelligence that takes a large amount of data and combines that with algorithms and is able to classify,
simplify,
analyze, and take action on that. So one of the fears is that AI may in fact replace certain jobs, including perhaps in the legal field, paralegals, lawyers, nurse case managers, things like that. But it's also very good because it can improve, productivity and some other things. So there are pros and cons, and we need to address those.
And it's a good start. So if you have a question about a law or something, you could start with that just to ask the question, but don't take that for...
Right. So one of the benefits, obviously, of AI is that it's a good starting point.
Yeah.
You can ask it certain questions. It can give you some information. And for us, what we use it for is to improve our intake process and to create content to better educate a potential client, either about our firm or about that particular legal issue. It allows us to speed up the processing of medical records because we do personal injury. So oftentimes we get a large amount of medical records in, and it allows us to quickly assimilate all of those medical records and create a timeline and a medical chronology. But the cool thing that it does is it can tell me where I'm missing medical records, where there may be a pre-existing condition. It can tell me what the weaknesses of my case are. So we use that as a tool, but it's just simply a tool because, like I said, there's also some disadvantages. And when we use it properly, it can, help us be more productive. It can help us be more accurate, and it can save time. So for that reason, it's a great tool. And lawyers that aren't using it are going to fall behind because it is a good tool for that. However,
there are disadvantages and there's some scary things. So let's review that.
All right. Well, so obviously the scary thing is it removes the human element. And one of the things they teach you in law school, just because it can read all of the laws that are out there. I mean, it's read everything. It may be the only one who's read every law written by Congress, and probably is the only one that's read the entire IRS code. But it does not have the ability to take the practical application of that law and apply it to a certain set of facts. And that's what they teach you in law school, right? So one of the temptations is relying on artificial intelligence. But, the other thing is artificial intelligence is only going to be as good as the information that you put in, right? So if you're not a lawyer and you want to draft a contract or you want to enter into a business relationship or business partnership, not knowing everything that needs to be put in there can be dangerous, right? And for personal injury work, it takes away that human connection. There's a temptation that we lose contact with what's real to the client, what's important to the client.
Well, and I know in your firm, the relationships that you have with your clients are critical.
Right. And we've stressed that so many times. And one of the things that we find it's very important, if it's my job, I'm tasked with the responsibility of recovering for my client what has been taken away from them because of an injury, whether it happened, in a car wreck or on the job or whatever. We really need to know what was important to the client. We need to know what they've been going through emotionally, physically, financially, and artificial intelligence can't replace that. So although there's a tendency to rely heavily, there have been lawyers that have relied solely on artificial intelligence. And AI does have the ability to have hallucinations. And it just manufactured and created cases that don't exist.
Wow, so that's really frightening.
Yeah, that's very scary.
Very scary.
Hopefully people won't rely on AI. It's the whole saying, trust but verify.
Trust but verify.
So always get a lawyer if you're dealing with some type of legal issue.
Well, great information. Thank you so much, Bennett.
Well, that's a small amount of information.
Yeah, but that was very, very helpful. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you.
Bennett Schiller with the Schiller Hamilton Law Firm, and we want to thank you all so much for watching this edition of North of the Broad. Bennett and I, thank you, and we'll see you next time. Bye.